Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Let's talk about suffering. What are the three main causes for suffering? And it's important to know. That way you can try to alleviate this stuff as best as you can. I'm always trying to figure out ways to become stronger. I don't want to say live an easier life, because that kind of has this implication that things around me should somehow adapt to what I want them to be easier for me. I'm not asking for the game to be easier. I'm just asking for me to be a better player at it, for me to be stronger. I don't care how hard life is. I just want to be strong enough to be able to handle it. There's a lot of causes for suffering, and a lot of different faiths around the world, philosophies around the world point to different things as what are the main causes. I think these three are pretty much at the top of the list, in my opinion, so that's why I chose these three. The first on the list is expectations. Expectations is a cause of suffering. What are expectations? We want to get what we want, right? Like children. A lot of us feel that that's what adulthood is about, is getting what you want. Spend a lot of time as a kid just going along with things, accepting things. You learn acceptance as a kid. But when we get to be adult, we sort of have this expectation. We expect to get what we want. We expect to get paid more money at our job. We expect to get treated with respect by others. It can be a major cause of suffering because life isn't always delivering what we want to us. In fact, most of us, it seems like that we're cursed. That's what it's felt like in my life. I've gone through decades where it feels like literally nothing is working out for me. I mean, nothing. I can't do anything right. You can shake your fist at the world, shake your fist at God like a fallen angel, because you expected a certain amount of results from the hard work that you put in. You expected the world to be a little kinder. Expected to get a little further. Many of us have this game we play with ourselves of supposed to. It was supposed to happen this way. My marriage was supposed to last longer. That relationship was supposed to work out differently. My kids are supposed to love me. You can go through all kinds of things, my life was supposed to be different than it is. These are all causes for suffering, this expectation. Maybe the way to get out of it is acceptance. That would be one way. There's probably more than one way to get out of the trap of expectations. And tell me what you think. Help me brainstorm on some ideas of how to defeat the cycle of suffering that's caused through our own expectations. So let's go on to the next one. Causes of suffering. These are the three top causes of suffering, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people would agree. I hope I'm explaining some of this stuff right. I have a little list I'm looking down at. So the next one, number 2, is attachments. Having attachments are a cause of suffering. And they talk about this in Buddhism. But it's It's kind of universal. Philosophically, our attachments are a major cause of suffering. Life itself is fleeting. Everybody that you know is going to die. We all have an attachment to life as if we're going to live forever. We want things to stay the same forever, and nothing stays the same. Everything changes. From the time we're born, we start changing. Everybody you know is going to be gone someday. We have an attachment to the people that we love. Don't ever leave me. Attachments can really torture us. Be attached to our money. Motherfuckers kill themselves if they go broke. During the Great Depression, I mean, it's happening now. Suicide is a big topic in some circles, but you're not going to really see much of it on the mainstream media. You have to go online to find the statistics and find it, but there's a lot of people killing themselves nowadays, and a lot of it has to do with money. Back in the Depression in the 30s, fools were jumping out buildings, killing themselves because they lost all their money. It's many people's biggest fears. It was mine for a long time. I went homeless, realized I could survive it, got myself off the streets. It's no longer my biggest fear. Of course, I don't invite it back into my life. I enjoy the lifestyle I live. Am I attached to it? I may be growing attached to it. That's a weakness. Someone could take this away from me, and I'd be awfully upset. A lot of people will be willing to commit ultimate sins because of their attachment to their money. I'll kill you if you fuck with my money. I told a guy that one time, many years ago, as I held him by his throat, smashed up against a wall of a warehouse. Attachments are a major cause of suffering, and how do we get around it? How do we be non-attached? And does being non-attached mean that we're robots, that we're emotionless, that we're just kind of a shell of a person, a ghost in a shell? To be a real person, don't you have to have some sort of attachments? Just like the first one with expectations, acceptance may be the key to relieve ourselves from the suffering of attachment. To be able to accept death. To be able to accept that life changes. To be able to accept that we don't always get what we want. To be able to accept that everything fades away. Be able to accept that everything's temporary. So we're talking about the causes of suffering. I've gone through two. Let's do the last one. The last one is ignorance. I believe that ignorance is a major cause for suffering. A lot of people think that, if you're stupid, if you're just some ignorant dumbass, that maybe you're happy. Stupid people aren't happy. They say ignorance is bliss. I mean, it is in a certain sense, but that's different. That's more referring to innocence. I don't want to be innocent. Innocence is not strength. Knowing the horrors of the world and not letting it ruin your soul is strength. Innocence is just somebody who doesn't know what's around the corner. Strength is knowing what's around the corner and being able to walk into it like a proud warrior. ready for battle if it happens, not letting it affect your mind. The warrior trains to break beyond that ignorance, to run through every scenario of attack, every scenario of defense, to be able to pull one of those out in the moment, in that flash of a second when they're trying to save their life or save somebody else's. Nothing worse than an ignorant warrior. I don't think that you can have an ignorant warrior. They don't go together. Ignorance is actually broken down into 3 different little segments. And, you know, there's a factual ignorance, where you just don't know shit. You don't read. You don't research. You're a dumb sheep who just believes what other people tell you. Well, my buddy said, you know, one of these types of guys, always talking about what their friends told them. Can't recite a fucking real source. They never read a goddamn thing in their life. They don't really know shit. There's nothing that they can hold on to. They're just a conduit for everybody else's knowledge. They don't really have their own knowledge. And there's objective ignorance. My last sip of water here. That means the video must be getting over. And I can't even talk. Object ignorance is simply just not being able to recognize what's in front of you. You don't even know what you're looking at. You're like a wild animal seeing technology for the first time. And then there's technical ignorance, where you can't really put stuff together. You can't fix anything. You can't figure out how anything actually works. It's important to understand the different types of ignorance so we can work on ourselves. Life is about learning. You know, you've heard the saying, life is a school. I mean, I could make a whole video kind of tearing that apart in different ways, so I don't want to own that as a philosophy, but just on the basic level of it, it's important to continue your education. You have the internet. You can learn stuff. A motherfucker, a buddy of mine, he's got a cell phone. Everybody's got a cell phone. I don't think he's got a computer or a laptop or anything, but he's got a cell phone, and the cell phone has the internet, just like everybody's does. He's on Facebook, and he's, you know, online doing all kinds of stuff on YouTube, sending me videos. We'll be hanging out often, and I'm not trying to pick on him, but I'll mention something and he'll have no idea what I'm talking about. And it's like, you got the cell phone in your hand. I mean, you have all the knowledge accessed that, you know, in the world you have access to. If somebody's mentioning something basic to you, something simple, everyday type common shit, and you don't know about it, that's new to you. You're just head scratching. Oh, really? Well, gosh. Then you need to get to work, man. Stop being so fucking stupid. You're bringing yourself down. It's a cause for suffering. You might be able to figure out some of these goddamn problems in your life if you're a little fucking smarter. I'm not trying to say all smart people have shit figured out. And the higher the IQ, the happier you are. But the fucking more knowledge that you have, the more of a chance that you can figure shit out. I got a whole motorcycle shop full of tools. I got so many goddamn tools in there. Some of them I don't ever use. But you know why I have so many tools? So I can fix shit. So build your tool chest. Stop being so stupid. It's all up to you. It's your own fault. This is just ideas, just thoughts that I have as far as how to alleviate yourself from suffering. Hope the video didn't go on too long. Please chime in, tell me what you think. Thanks for watching.